the power. Second verse dedicates to the real peeps. What we gotta say is so real thing, cause revolution ain't never gonna televise. Kicking a map, whoa, microphone phenotype. Opening third eye, see into the overground. I'm about to hit you with a scream from the underground. Whole city's covered with a cyber flavor, G's in your area. We're not with the top best. Impossible, see the invisible. Row, fight the power. Touch the untouchable, break the unbreakable. Row, fight the power. What you gonna do is what you wanna do. Just break the rule, then you see the truth. This is the theme of the Jeep. Cool, baby. Row, fight the power. Impossible, see the invisible. Row, fight the power. Touch the untouchable, break the unbreakable. Row, fight the power. What you gonna do is what you wanna do. Just break the rule, then you see the power. This is the theme of the Jeep. Cool, baby. Row, fight the power. Impossible, see the invisible. Row, fight the power. Touch the untouchable, break the unbreakable. Row, fight the power. What you gonna do is what you wanna do. Just break the rule, you have the power. This is the theme of the Jeep. Cool, baby. Row, fight the power. Row, fight the power.
All right. I know that I've been totally slacking on the hell? I've been totally slacking on my streams. But what's that? Interesting. But I'm free this weekend, or at least I should be. And I am, where is it? Going to try to get back on that, you know? Unless, of course, I become busy. I guess that's just...
Hey everyone, welcome back to Godot.
Making those kind of promises and just be like, hey, I'll stream when I can. Because it's been rough. Just, you know, get kind of busy. Things like that happen. Oh, yeah, that's right. Hold up. So we are going to have to... Is that the right button? I hope I hit the right button. It doesn't matter. You guys know I gotta switch to my other account anyway. Oh, yeah, I can hear the music. Yeah, I'm switching.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Godot Dev.
Cool. All right, because I want this to work.
Checkpoint. Now in our last video, we navigated the editor and built our first static scene. Today, we're going to give that scene some life. Now it's a big milestone. We're going to write our very first line of code using GD script, Godot's official scripting language. And then we're going to learn how to attach a script, understand the crucial ready function, and make our program talk to us. We're going to use the console with that. Now remember, you can find links to all the official Godot documentation mentioned in the video down in the description. Now are you ready? Move past the visual editor, dive into some code. We're good. Let's go. Now open the welcome scene we had last time. And it should be in your scenes folder here. Now, first thing we're going to do is delete the Sprite 2D and delete the label. We do not need that anymore.
Oh, yeah, I'm not going to lie to you.
Last time. And it should be in your scenes folder down in the description. Now, are you ready? move past the
Nice.
visual
Let's
editor,
do this.
dive into
Let's
some
do
code.
this.
We're good. Let's go. Now open the welcome scene we had last time. And it should be in your scenes folder here. Now, first thing we're going to do is delete the Sprite 2D and delete the label. We do not need that anymore. We only need our Node 2D root node. Now, remember, every script in Godot must be attached to a node.
Okay.
Before we attach it, let's talk about GDScript a little. It's Godot's official scripting language. It was built specifically for game development within the engine. Now, it's powerful, fast, and it looks a lot like Python, but it is not Python. It's independent from it. It's really not based on it. It's just really the indentation and the look of it. But it does make it easy to read. Pretty legible.
There's
some syntax that is not. So thankfully, GDScript keeps it pretty simple and straightforward. Now the basics are all in the documentation. Once again, linked below if you want to dive in a little further to see some more keywords and explore for yourself. Now back in the Godot editor, we're going to get the script attached. So with Node 2D selected, we're going to look at this green plus icon here, little paper thing, attach a new or existing script to the selected node, click on that, and it's going to pop up the attach node script dialog window. Now it's pretty straightforward, but there are some important bits we can cover. The language, GDScript, that's the scripting language is going to fall under. There's C# as well that you can put in here that we covered before in the last one. You can download that if you want to extend it with C#. We're going to stick with GDScript for now, though. Inherits, well, that is Node 2D. You'll notice it's the same as this Node 2D here.
How does he do that?
What that says, it tells the script which kind of node it gets its basic abilities from. So since we selected a Node 2D, the script will inherit all the position and rotation functions that a Node 2D has. Pretty crucial. And then it'll be more apparent as we go forward. And the template here, now node default. Now this determines what boilerplate code that Godot is going to write for us. Default is always a safe choice for new scripts, so we'll leave that as it is. The built-in script now, it's an option that saves a script inside the scene file, the .tscn file, instead of a separate GD file. But for organizing, we're almost always going to want to leave that unchecked, so our script is portable and not tied to anything specifically. Now the path, that's where we're going to be saving the file. We'll notice it's currently in scenes, so what we're going to do is click this little folder here and make a new folder. We can click this up here, go back.
Oh, wait.
Right, new folder. We can click this up here, go back up, back into the root folder, right click, new folder, scripts. We'll name that. Now we have a scenes folder and a scripts folder. And the GD script we're going to write is, well, hello world. So we're going to name it hello world. Now we can open that, and it's going to open the script up as soon as we click create. Does everything looks good? And here's our script right here. And now that we're here, we can see a couple things here. Extends Node 2D again. Now that is telling us again what this script is inheriting. So extends Node 2D, that just means the line directly reflects and inherits what we just saw. Now this is the GDScript word for inheritance. It just makes our script a child of the Node 2D class, just giving it all that node's properties. And then we have the function ready. Now it's the next big checkpoint here. It's a big one. So it's a callback function, and that Godot calls once when the node and its children are fully loaded and ready to be used. So think of it as a starting pistol, like on a race. When the pistol goes off, the race has started, and we're off. And that's just the starting of the node's life. Now if you want to read more about it in the callbacks, it is in the documentation right here. It's in the ready. And if you want to dive in further, well, it's all here for you. Now, when Godot generates a script, it gives you two important callback functions. Now, we talked about the ready. Now, this one is the process. Now, it might be commented out in your editor, but here it's the opposite, clearly. Now, this one runs every single frame instead of just once when the game starts. So you use this for non-physics related logic, like checking input, updating UI, or movement that doesn't need collision detection. And the delta argument, well, the delta argument is the time since the last frame. So you can use this to make movement frame rate independent. So you're not moving faster if you have a better frame rate or slower. And since we only want to print a message once at the start, we don't need process. So a cleanup checkpoint here, we can delete the entire function plus the comments. Now we're going to focus on the ready function. That's all we need. Now you can delete this pass. It's really just a placeholder text, so it doesn't throw an error. Now that we're inside the ready function, I want to pause for a second and notice that the line where we type our code must be indented. Indentation is not just for style in GDScript, it's mandatory. This is one of the biggest differences between GDScript and languages like C++ or C#, which use curly braces to define code blocks. In GDScript, we use indentation to tell the engine that a line of code belongs to the function directly above it. If your code is not indented correctly, the engine won't know where to run it, and it will throw an error. Now, tabs versus spaces. Now, this is a curious developer checkpoint. Now, on versus tabs versus spaces, you might have heard developers argue about using tabs or spaces, vice versa, for indentation. Now, the most important rule in GDScript is consistency. You never want to mix tabs and spaces in the same file. And by default, you have to use tabs for indentation. You can change it, but we recommend staying with the default settings right now until we get a little more experienced. Because if you don't do it right, it will stop running your code and give you an error. Most developers and the official Godot documentation recommend using tabs for indentation because it ensures that everyone viewing the code sees the same block size regardless of their editor settings. Your code is easier for others to read. Now, when you press the Tab key on your keyboard right now, the Godot editor automatically inserts the correct indentation for you. Always use this auto indentation feature. And then we can write simply print, and parentheses, and then whatever you want to say. With the string, you're going to need quotation marks, and you can do hello world, or we can do hello Godot dev checkpoint students. All right, and you can Control S to save that, and then we're saved. Don't forget to save.
Yeah.
Always wise, no matter what you do.
Save every once in a
Now,
while.
simply, we just have to run the scene. We can either use our run project, runs the whole thing, or you can actually use this film reel looking one, which only runs our current scene. But since we only have one and we set up our main scene as the only one we have, both these buttons will do the same thing. So when you press play, we got rid of our guy, but if you look down here in the console, you can see our print function has worked.
Well, you're not going to see it because...
And this print line matches the output in the console. Today we learned about the difference between ready and process.
He is
Ready runs once and process runs every frame.
Taking his time with this stuff, huh?
Welcome back to Godot.
So we're just going to hop to the next one.
We've written code. Now it's time to move. So today we're going to build the core of our game platformer type thing by implementing basic horizontal movement. Now we'll introduce the essential character body 2D node. And even better, we'll start with Godot's built-in movement script template, focusing only on the lines that handle horizontal motion.
1 second, y'all.
So let's jump into the physics loop.
Sorry about that.
Now to start this off, we're going to create a new scene. So in our Godot editor, scene, new scene.
Wait.
Choose. So in our Godot editor, scene, new scene. And then we can choose 2D scene, or we can just use node. And even better, we'll start with Godot's built-in movement script template, focusing only on the lines that handle horizontal motion and physics. So let's jump into the physics loop. Now to start this off, we're going to create a new scene. So in our Godot editor, scene, new scene. And then we can choose 2D scene, or we can just use other node. The other node, we want character body 2D. Just here. And we're gonna
hold on.
the other node, Godot editor, scene, new scene. And then we can choose 2D scene, or we can just use other node. The other node, we want character body 2D. Just here. And we're going to create that. Now, if you create a node 2D scene by accident, it's fine. You can create a new scene, delete the other one, or you can right-click on the node and change its type to any other kind of node here. And we're going to create that. Now, if you create a node 2D scene by accident, it's fine. You can create a new scene, delete the other one, or you can right-click on the node.
Hold that thought, because I want to know. Probably not, because I was hoping that there we go. We'll do that.
And
I was hoping I could make mine like a different color or something, so that way I could tell the difference. Because when it's like this, it is against the background. It almost looks like I have another window there, but I'm like, oh wait, no, that's the video. I need that.
Change its type to any other. The other node, we want character body 2D. Just here. And we're going to create that. Now, if you create a node 2D scene by accident, it's fine. You can create a new scene, delete the other one, or you can right-click on the node and change its type to any other kind of node you want.
I didn't see it.
Right-click on the node and change its type to any other kind of node you want.
Oh, cool.
Now that we have a character body 2D, we're going to add some children. So the character body selected with the plus sign here. We're going to start off with the sprite 2D. Now we have sprite 2D. We're going to also give it a texture, which here, texture, we're going to load again our standard Godot icon. Now we have him here in our 2D tab. We can see him. We also need a collision shape. We don't have anything. We don't have something to collide with. And if you ever forget these node configuration warnings, they will tell you what you need. So the node has no shape, so it can't collide. So consider adding a collision shape, 2D or polygon 2D, whichever one you prefer. But for this case, we're going to select the character body 2D, add the plus sign, and use a collision shape 2D. Now we have another node configuration warning, and it tells us that a shape must be provided. So over in the inspector here, our shape is empty. So all we have to do is click on it in the empty, and what we're going to use is a rectangle shape. Now we can take our collision shape. When it's selected, you can see these red dots. That's the anchors we can use to highlight our entire icon. Now our entire icon is collidable. And we need a script. So with our character body...
No, hold on. I'm not done. You want a rectangle for this? There we go. That's pretty good.
selected. Now we can take our collision shape. When it's selected, you can see these red dots. That's the anchors we can use to highlight our entire icon. Now our entire icon is collidable. And we need a script. So with our character body 2D selected, let's just add a script. Clicking on the attach new script. And we're going to name this script player. Our character body. Now our entire icon is collidable. And we need a script. So with our character body 2D selected, let's just add a script. Clicking on the attach new script. And we're going to name this script player. We need to put it in the right spot. Currently it's going to the root. We want to put it in our scripts folder. So if you're not in your scripts folder, you click this arrow here and get to your root, which is res going to the root. We want to put it in our scripts folder. So if you're not in your scripts folder, you click this edit in to put it in the right spot. Currently it's going to the root. We want to put it in our scripts folder. So if you're not in your scripts folder, you click this arrow here and get to your root, which is res : / and click on scripts and make sure we're saving as player GD in our scripts folder and open. So our character body 2D inherits from is going to give us the full boilerplate code for physics. It's a whole physics template. So which is great. Then we can start explaining that for 2D basic movement. You can make it empty if you want to write your own, but we're going to stick with the default built-in. Click create. And now we have a simple physics process movement script. Now we want to save this scene. As it's unsaved, you can see by the asterisk there. Scene. Save scene. And now we're in the scenes folder. That's good.
Wait.
Scene there. Scene. Save scene. And now we're in the scenes folder. That's good. We're going to save this scene.
Scene. Save scene.
As player. Click save. Now I have a scene player and a player script. Now if we look at the top of the template, we have these things called consts. Now we're not getting real in the weeds with those, but basically const is just something that can't be changed at runtime. It's just a variable that we like to have not changed. So we're only going to use speed for this. So we can keep our jump, or we can just get rid of it. If you want to comment something out, you just put a hashtag in front of it, or a number sign, depending on your millennium. Now this here we don't need either, which is a handle jump. So we can either highlight that, delete it, or highlight it all, and press Control plus K. Now I'll comment out those 3 lines for us. We're also going to ignore the get gravity for now. So we can comment that out or delete it. I'll just comment it out. Get gravity for now. Plus K. Need either, which is a handle jump. So we can either highlight that, delete it, or highlight it all, and press Control plus K. Now I'll comment out those 3 lines for us. We're also going to ignore the get gravity for now. So we can comment that out or delete it. I'll just comment it out. Highlight, Control plus K. Now let's take a look at the function physics process. Now that's your physics checkpoint here. Now it's a fixed rate. The function runs at a fixed rate of 60 times per second. So it ensures reliable physics calculations. And this is where all your movement and collision code is going to go. Now the delta part, that argument ensures movement is frame rate.
Wait, hold on. I think I messed up. Right, yeah.
Independent. which basically means the character moves at the same speed, whether the user has 30 FPS or 300. Now all the documentation is listed below. You can read it all for yourself if you want to dive in further. Now to focus on the horizontal movement, we commented out the gravity and the jump logic for now. You can delete it if you want a cleaner script, but we'll leave them there for an example and maybe use them later. So we have down here is the horizontal. We have this input.getAxis. Now that's going to tell the Godot when we're playing the game if we're pushing one of these getAxis buttons, which right now are the arrow keys, left and right. UI left and UI right is set up by default with arrow keys. Now that's going to be stored in this direction variable. Now this if-else block statement is going to check if a direction is being pressed, left or right, then it's going to move the character. And this else velocity, if there's nothing being pushed, what that's going to do is stop the character. Now it's going to stop it slowly as a friction. So it's not like a sudden stop. So it's a nice little built-in default slow stop. Now for all this to be executed, we have this move and slide. Now it just takes the velocity, it's our X component, and handles the entire physics calculation and the collision response for us. Now you can find the documentation linked below for the move and slide if you want to dive deeper in. It's all right here for you. So now it's time to test. We have all this. You did notice maybe there's an error or a warning here. Really all it's telling us is that delta is never used. So if you really don't want to use it, then you just prefix it with this underscore. So when we do use it, we still can. It'll just will have an underscore. But we could delete it later. But if you want to get rid of that, you can just put the underscore here in the delta. And then save it. And then that goes away. You can leave it there too if the caution doesn't bug you. But if it does, that's how to get rid of it. So we're just going to run the player scene this time. So if we go back to our 2D tab, we have our player here. Now if we take our character body, we also need to make sure that move mode right here is highlighted. If it's not, then we won't be able to move our character body. We can just move your character body down. And since we're on the player scene and not our welcome scene, if you're
Whoa, wait, what?
We can just move your character body down. And since we're on the player scene,
That didn't work.
and not our welcome scene, if you remember, and then that goes away. You can leave it there too if the caution doesn't bug you. But if it does, that's how to get rid of it. So we're just going to run the player scene this time. So if we go back to our 2D tab, we have our player here. Now if we take our character body, we also need to make sure that move mode right here is highlighted. If it's not, then we won't be able to move our character body.
I see.
We can just move your character body down. And since we're on the player scene and not our welcome scene, if you remember, this is our main game scene. So if you run it from this project, play project, you're not going to see anything. It's going to be blank because there is no player in our welcome scene. I mean, before we put our player in our welcome scene, we can play it from the player scene. Now how to do that, we do this little film reel, run current scene. So it doesn't run the whole project, just the scene you're on. That's what we're going to do. So you click here, run current scene, and we have our little dude. Now if you try to use the WASD keys, they don't work yet. They're not in there by default. But if you use your arrow keys, right and left, success. Now we have a moving player. Now Godot only maps the UI left and UI right actions to the arrow keys and gamepads too. You can use your gamepad right now. But we're going to rely on the default actions for this video. So in the next video, we're going to go in the project settings and add the A and D. And then we can create our own custom action names. Give us our WASD movement. Now you've successfully cleared the basic movement checkpoint.
Oh
Congrats.
man, this is Moving at a snail's pace, ain't it? We got this, we got this. Alright, next video.
Welcome back to Godot Dev Checkpoint. Now in our last video we got our character moving using the arrow keys. But remember the checkpoint we mentioned? We need to add the A and D keys to replace those generic UI left and right actions with our own custom names. Today we're mastering the input map to define professional input actions. This makes our controls easy to remap and ensure our code is clean and readable. Now let's give our code the input setup it deserves. Let's dive in. Now in the last tutorial, we used UI left and UI right. Now these are actions defined by Godot for menus, not exclusively for our game's character. So if we want players to customize or we want to customize or add different control support later, relying on generic names is bad practice. Now the solution is to create input actions. An action is a concept, like move right. We then map any number of physical buttons, D key, right arrow, gamepad buttons, to that single action. Where is the input map? Well, we're going to find it back in the editor, top left menu, project, project settings. We're going to have the project settings window pop up here. We want input map. Now these here in the center are the ones we've done so far, which are none. If you want to see the default ones, show built-in action toggle, and we can see the default ones already included. You can also see the UI left and UI right, and the buttons they are using to call them. We don't want to mess with those, so we're going to hide these and make our own. Now, add new action. Just click right in there. Now, we're curious developers, but we don't want to be curious what our code means later, so we want descriptive names. So for this, we want to move left. So we're going to say what it does. Move left. Then you either press enter or press the add button. Now we have move left action. But this still currently doesn't do anything. Not until we add a button, which right over here, click add event. Now this window is going to listen for input. Now the first one we want is A for left, for the WASD controls. So click A, pops up. Now we click OK to keep it.
Oh.
Now A moves our character left, if we call it. We also want to use the arrow keys though. This will not. It'll still call it with the UI, but we want it with our move left as well. So we add another input event, add. Now we want to move left on the arrow key. There you go. Press OK.
Oh, I got a head.
Event,
Look at me.
add. Now we want to move left on the arrow key. There you go. Press OK. Perfect. Now we can move A and left arrow key. Moves left. Now if you have a gamepad, you can also use that. Now if you click input, add event again, listen for input, and move left on your controller, that will also pop up, and you can save that. Now our move, that will also pop up, and you can save that. Now our move on your controller.
Yeah, but I don't have a... bottom action. Sunny cross. I forgot the button. Okay. Sorry about that. Just button. Okay. Axis. Left stick. I had to go look for that one. Jesus. Okay.
That will also pop up, and you can save that. Now our move left is about done. Now we want to also move right. So once again, descriptive and obvious. Move right. Click add and repeat the process. Move right, we want D, enter. Add another input event. We also want the right arrow key, enter. If you want your gamepad, add another event, push right on your joypad. Press OK. Now we have left and right movement. Now if you don't have a controller set up, it doesn't matter. You can add it later when you do. Great, now we successfully mapped the A and D and right arrow keys and a joypad.
That's awesome.
Custom actions. Now you can close the project settings window. Godot saves these automatically. Now back in our player GD script, we are going to focus on the input.getAxis. Now we want to use our new actions that we just created. So UI left, we want to change that to move left. Now these are strings, so you want to make sure they're spelled exactly how we spelt them. And then it pops up this little autocomplete too that helps. If it's not spelled correctly, case sensitive as well, it won't work. See, we have autocomplete here. It shows what we have in there. If you don't see that, then you want to check your spelling. We want move right. So now we have move left and move right. And that's it. We want to make sure we want to save it. The little asterisk here means it's not saved. So you can either right click on player GD, or you can go to file up here, file, save, like that. Control S works as well. Now if you want to read more about the input.getAxis, the documentation will be listed below. Input and all that stuff. So if you want to dive in further, it's all there for you. Now for the crucial test. Run your scene. Now we're going to go to our player scene. We're just going to keep it here for now. And in our film reel, we don't want to use the run project because that once again will only open our welcome scene, which we do not have our player in yet. So in our player scene, we want to just run the player scene. So we'll use this current scene. It's also F6 as you can see. Run that scene, test your A and D keys.
That's pretty mouse.
Right
That's
and
pretty
left.
mouse.
And test your arrow keys, right and left. And if you set up a controller, you can also test right and left on that. All work. Now you've successfully implemented custom remappable controls. Now today you cleared the
Lord,
input
I mean,
map.
yeah, now we're starting to get into it, but jeez.
Welcome back to Godot Dev
Taking
Check.
its time. I mean, I appreciate it
In our last
because
few videos, we mastered
less likely to
horizontal
get left
movement
behind
and
that way, but
customized our controls. Today we conquer the vertical plane, gravity, and jumping. We're going to finish explaining the official character body 2D template by looking at the jump velocity constant, the core concept of vector 2 for 2D physics, and the function that handles gravity. Let's finish this movement script.
yes,
Now back in our player GD script,
yes.
we had a template. Now the template included two constants, speed and jump velocity. Now jump velocity is going to be the instant upward speed applied when we jump. So notice the negative sign here. Now in Godot 2D, the positive y-axis points down. So negative y moves our character.
That's certainly
up.
weird.
Our velocity property is a vector 2,
Hold that thought.
containing
Right.
Gonna have to mute my mic.
Oof, sorry about that. I'm back though. Actually, we're gonna try something different and just watch it.
a container for two numbers, x horizontal and y vertical. In the previous videos, we only changed the velocity x, dealt with that. Now we're going to manipulate the y. This will handle falling and jumping. Now in the physics process function, we highlighted and commented out this part here, the add gravity. Now if you block commented like I did, you can highlight, hold down Control K, we're going to bring that back. Now you notice we get an error if you fix the caution and underscore the delta here. We could either underscore here, but we're going to keep it default and just get rid of the underscore we put in. And that'll fix the error for that. Now we're using the delta, which remember, it just means that it will keep the frame rate not affecting our motion at all. Now the is on floor here line uses the built-in is on floor method of the character body 2D. Now you can look at the documentation for is on floor below. It's all linked. You can read about all the is on stuff if you'd like. Fun fact, if you also have these blue here, highlight, mouse over, hold down Control, and you can click on them. If you click on it, it'll bring you to the in-engine documentation, which is handy.
It is very
You
handy.
also want to look at the website every now and keep the most up-to-date, just in case anything changes. This is good for a quick reference. So back in here, we're looking at the get gravity. Now that's the heart of the
Get
equation.
gravity?
Now get gravity, it's a built-in function that retrieves the gravity value when it's set in the project settings, or how it is set in the project settings. It usually returns a value like 0 or 0 to 90 every now and here in. And that'll fix the error for that part here, the add gravity.
Oh, yeah.
Block commented like I did. You can highlight, hold down Control K, we're going to bring that back. Now you notice we get an error if you fix the caution and underscore the delta here. We could either underscore here, but we're going to keep it default and just get rid of the underscore we put in. And that'll fix the error for that. Now we're using the delta, which remember, it just means that it will keep the frame rate not affecting our motion at all. Now the is on floor here line uses the built-in is on floor method of the character body 2D. Now you can look at the documentation for is on floor below. It's all linked. You can read about all the is on stuff if you'd like. Fun fact, if you also have these blue here, highlight, mouse over, hold down Control, and you can click on them. If you click on it, it'll bring you to the in-engine documentation, which is handy. We also want to look at the website every now and keep the most up-to-date, just in case anything changes. This is good for a quick reference. So back in here, we're looking at the get gravity. Now that's the heart of the equation here. Now get gravity, it's a built-in function that retrieves the gravity value when it's set in the project settings, or how it is set in the project settings. It usually returns a value like 0 or 0 to 980 xy respectively. And the velocity plus minus. Now we're adding that downward force to our existing vertical velocity every frame. The times delta, that's the we just changed. Now that, like we said, we multiply by delta to ensure the acceleration is smooth and consistent regardless of frame rate. Now this next block that we commented out, we can uncomment that now. If you block comment, you highlight, Control K, and bring it back to life. Alright, now we also have an error for the jump velocity, because if you remember, we also commented out jump velocity constant. So we can just get rid of this hashtag or number sign, depending on what millennium you're from. Now this is all fixed. Now this handles our upward movement. Input.isAction just pressed UI accept and is on floor. This checks if the jump key, the space bar by default, was pressed down on the current frame using just pressed is critical. Otherwise, holding the key would cause continuous jumping. And is on floor is critical. Otherwise, holding the key using just pressed is critical. Otherwise, now we're going to keep it once. And the velocity.y
Son of a bitch. Am I back? It looks like I'm back. Yeah, Jesus. What was that?
equals the jump velocity. Now, if both of these conditions are true up here, we set the vertical velocity to our negative constant, which is the jump velocity. Now, immediately launching the character up. And everything below we can keep as the same. All right, now back in our 2D tab with our player, we need to test the jump. So you see this node configuration warning. That's because we moved our player. Now, we're going to keep this scene separate from anything else. So it's going to be its player by itself.
I have one.
So we're going to recenter our character. Keep it in its default placement. So if you notice, character body has selected, then our transform, we want that to go back to 0. So we're going to select reset. Then if you save the scene, it'll get rid of that error. Now that's where our character should live, because this is not where our character is going to move. This is just where our character exists. And for good measure, our character body 2D, we know this is going to be our player. So let's rename this to player. Now this scene is called player in both instances. That's important because what we're going to do, so we can test the jump, go back to our welcome scene, and then this node 2D is going to be our root node for this scene. Now we can add our player. Now in the scene window, we are going to add instantiate child scene. Now we're going to use our player. We have
Whoa, I'm thinking that was weird.
welcome scene and a player scene. Well, we're going to use the player because that's what we want. And now our player is living in the welcome scene without having to mess with the scene of the player itself. And now we can move this player any we want and no errors will occur. This way, with the node 2D selected, we can add a floor. That way we'll jump on one. So with node 2D selected, we're going to add another child node, and it's going to be a static body 2D. Now create that. Now this is going to tell you it needs a shape, and it needs to collide. So it needs a collision shape 2D or polygon. We're going to use the collision shape 2D. So it's static body selected, plus icon, collision shape 2D, right here, create. And now this is going to tell you it needs a shape. So in the inspector 2D, collision shape 2D or polygon. We're going to use the collision shape 2D. So it's static body selected, plus icon, collision shape 2D, right here.
Yeah, this is pretty simple stuff.
And now this is going to tell you it needs a shape. So in the inspector over here, we're going to add a shape. A rectangle works great for a floor. And now we have that, no warnings. We can move this here and extend it out, bring it down. And we're going to make it longer and wider. Now this will be our floor. Extend it out, bring it down. And we're going to make it longer and wider. Now this will be our floor. So now we're going to make it longer and wider. Now this will be our floor.
Okay, I just wanted to double back on how he was making it. Cool.
So now our player should fall, land on the floor, and then we'll be able to jump. And now that we are in the main scene, we can actually use either of these current scenes or the project scene, and it'll work. So let's test it out. Run your project. Player falls.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Oh, he goes off screen.
Lands on our mystery floor, and we have a jump. Congrats! You've successfully mastered vertical physics. Now in the next video, we switch gears and tackle scene management by creating our first reusable scene, a coin. And we're going to
Cool. Invert that texture. Material? Why not? Let's explore this a bit. Hmm. Oh, sure, I guess. That's pretty neat. All right, next video.
Welcome back to Godot Dev Checkpoint. Now we've mastered movement. Now we tackle game architecture. Today's goal is twofold. First, we're going to create a proper level scene and use instancing to place our player into it, much like we did in the testing in the last one. Second, we're going to create our first reusable object, a coin, using the crucial Area 2D node and its signals. This is a checkpoint that separates single scene tests from scalable games. Let's dive in. Now to start out with, we are still in our welcome scene. We are going to get rid of everything we put in here for testing. We can delete the player. We don't need it in our welcome scene. Delete node player. Okay. Static body 2D. We can also get rid of that floor we made. Delete. Okay. Now our welcome scene is back to how it was. Now we can save that, leave that blank. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new scene, new scene. We're going to start with just this normal 2D scene. It's our node 2D root. What we're going to do is rename this, click in there once, rename it level 1. Now we're going to save this scene because it's unsaved. You can either go to scene or press Control S. Save scene as. Make sure we're in our scenes folder. Name it level 1. And save. Now just like we did for testing, we want to bring our player into the scene. Now we can either right click in the scene and instantiate, or in our file system, we can find our player scene, click and hold and drag it into level 1 right here. And now our player is inside of level 1. Now you notice if you do right click in the scene, you'll see this chain link here. What that basically means is you're linking this scene to your player scene. This shows that it's an instance, a reusable copy of our blueprint for our player. Instancing is the Godot way of assembling a game. You can find more about that in the documentation I'll link below. That way, if you like, you can scroll through and dive in as deep as your heart desires. Now let's add a floor. Like we used in our last video, we can make it permanent this time though. This time we're going to add a static body 2D. So when you're level 1 selected, right click, add child node, static body 2D. Is our node configuration.
There's an instance from here.
Warning says it needs a shape. So it needs to consider adding a collision shape 2D. So we need to add that as a child. You can right click, add child node. And we're going to do a collision body or collision shape 2D. That's what we want. Create. Now this configuration warning says we need a shape for it to function. So with it selected in the inspector, we want to click on the empty and we'll just add a rectangle shape. And now we have a floor. We just need to put it on the floor. So remember, our blue lines here are our current viewport for our camera. So we can extend this out. If you have trouble grabbing, you can zoom in. And then put this on the floor. Here. And we'll extend it all the way over. Control S to save. Now we're going to create another new scene. So a scene, new scene. We're going to just do a 2D scene. Now with this node 2D selected, we're going to right click. This time we're just going to change its type. We're going to change its type to area 2D. Right there. And change. Now it didn't change the name, so what we can do is actually right click or left click in there. Just rename it to area 2D. Just to be descriptive. Now this node is the sensor of the physics world. It detects when something enters or exits its shape, but it doesn't stop movement. Perfect for a coin or a trigger. You can find the Area 2D documentation below. That way, if you want to scroll through it, you can at your leisure. So to get a visual, we also need a Sprite 2D child. Right click, or you can click this plus icon. Add child node, Sprite 2D. We also need something to then collide with. So we need a collision shape. In our root node, right click, add child, collision shape 2D. Create. Now this needs a shape to get this configuration warning to go away. Since we're doing a coin and our shape empty, we'll just do a circle shape 2D. Since we don't have a coin asset yet, we can go to our Sprite 2D. And change the texture to our Godot icon and load. And just use our icon again. And to differentiate from the player, what we can do is in the transform, we can change the scale. This chain link means it's going to affect both at the same time. And we just make it smaller, 0.5. Boop. And now we have a coin. We're going to name this Area 2D, be more descriptive, into a coin. And then we're unsaved, so we want to go to Scene, Save Scene, and make sure we're in our Scenes folder, and name this scene Coin. Save. And last but not least, our collision shape is where our player is going to be able to collide. So this circle needs to cover this entire icon. So the collision shape 2D, we click on the circle shape 2D right here. It's going to bring up some options. And we want the radius to be bigger. So we can extend this out with the handle. Make sure this covers everything. Looks like about 42 will do it. The answer to everything. Control S to save. Now we have a coin. Now we just need to tell coin it's able to be picked up. We're going to do that with a script. So with coin selected, we're going to attach a new script.
I looked away for half a second.
Now we just need to tell coin it's able to be picked up. We're going to do that with a script. So with coin selected, we're going to attach a new script. We're going to put it in its proper folder and put it in the right path in the root. Go to scripts. And we have player and hello world in there. We're going to change this to coin.
Coin
Now
God.
we'll keep the default stuff here. Create. And we don't need any of this boilerplate stuff, so we can delete it for now.
Well, I didn't get it.
Save. Control S. Now that we have the script, we need the signal. Now with our coin selected, we have in the inspector panel, also have this tab called Node. Let's click on that. Now if you don't see anything in this window, make sure we have one selected. And you should see all the signals that this can emit. If you still don't see anything, click away and click back on it. And it should pop up.
Ah, okay.
Now, this is the most crucial checkpoint. What you're looking at is a list of all the signals this node can emit or send out. Think of signals like a radio station. The Area 2D is the emitter, the radio station. It's constantly broadcasting events like, I've been entered, or I've been pressed. Now our coin GD script is the listener, your radio. It needs to tune in and subscribe to a specific channel. Just like you can subscribe to Godot Dev Checkpoint. Since we want to know when a physics body enters our coin, find the body entered Node 2D signal. Now you want to double click it. Node 2D signal. Now you want to double click it. Now we are connecting our coin.gd and subscribe to Godot Dev Checkpoint. Since we want to know when a physics body enters our coin, find the body entered Node 2D signal. Now you want to double click it. Now we are connecting our coin.gd script to the body entered signal. When you click connect, Godot automatically writes a function for us in the script called onBodyEntered.
That's
This
awesome.
function is the code that runs when the signal is broadcast. So let's click connect.
Shit, this is easier than fucking...
Now this new function
Adobe
runs
Dreams.
every time the signal is emitted.
That's so fucking crazy. Because I used Dreamweaver, Adobe Dreamweaver while in school, and this is already easier because it's just like, oh yeah, just look it up. It's all in there. Where it's just like, I mean, I think you probably could do that in Dreamweaver, but I don't remember ever using it because I definitely would have. I don't know, man. I feel like this is a little easier.
You'll notice it's connected with
Surprise,
this little
surprise,
green
Adobe makes shit
mark
product.
here. Now inside this function, we need a little green mark here, onBodyEntered. This function is the code that runs when the signal is broadcast. So let's click connect.
Man.
Now this new function runs every time the signal is emitted. You'll notice it's connected with this little green mark here.
The grain.
Now inside this function, we need to remove the coin when it's picked up. So we're going to use a thing called queue free. Now we're going to delete the pass. There's placeholder text. Just a quick reminder, pay attention to your indentation. Make sure you see Godot's built-in tab marks. And we're going to do something that safely remove this coin instance from the game. That way it doesn't take up any more memory and it's gone. So that commented, we're going to write Q free. Now if you're curious more about that, you can hold down Control and click on it, read about it in the editor, or go to the documentation that I will link below.
Man, I've been sleeping like shit. For the
Queue
past
free is
couple
the
days.
safest way to delete any node in Godot. It queues the node for deletion at the end of the current frame, preventing crashes. Now save your coin.gd script.
All right.
Now once again you'll see we have that similar warning, just like the Delta one. This is never used, the body parameter. So if you intended, prefix it to get rid of the error or the caution. So we need to put an underscore there, and that will go away. You can save it again if that bothers you. And coin.gd is good to go. Now let's go back to our level 1 2D tab and our coin scene. We can now drag and drop anywhere onto the scene where our player
That's
will
neat.
be able to get it.
That's
We'll put a
super
couple here.
cool.
Couple there. Somewhere where they have to jump to get it. And there. Now when you run level 1, the scene, use your controls and move into the coins. They should vanish instantly. Now remember, our main scene is a welcome scene. Level 1 is a separate scene. So we need to use not the project run, we need to use the current scene run. So let's test it out. Run your current scene.
That's awesome. Oh, my guy just jumped off the world.
Player should fall and drop. Run into our coins, and they vanish immediately. Success! Now if your coins disappear, clear the instancing and signals checkpoint. In the next video, we'll dive deeper into signals by tackling UI interaction and making a button work. Now, if you found this helpful, please like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell to Godot Dev Checkpoint. And remember, finished, not perfect. You'll learn more from failing than any success. So fail fast and fail often. And always stay curious. See you in the next one. Now, this is the most crucial checkpoint. What you're looking at is a list of all the signals this node can emit or send out. Think of signals like a radio station. The area 2D is the emitter, the radio station. Welcome back.
Oh, I guess it was like a blooper or something. Anyway, I'll be right back. I'm gonna get some fucking caffeine in me because I'm already starting to slow down and my brain is... Oh, wow, we have chewed through this guy's thing. That's okay because, you know, maybe we'll get actually to the real deal. You know? I don't know. Maybe we will get some more video assistance. Maybe we will. This video is creeping me the fuck out. What's going on here?
Follows. Arthur, you holy shit! I'm ready. No, you ain't! Do I have something on my face? My boy, the only thing on your face is pure fear. You look like you're about to say, my precious, my precious. I don't think that's been written yet, Dutch.
Oh, you look like a map of Saint Denis, just covered in crap and depressing.
This is all very hurtful, and I would rebuttal, but I'm just too weak to. Now, son, when was the last time you slept? What day is it?
Wednesday.
Of what month? Oh my God.
Oh, just shoot him now, Dutch. He's already got tuberculosis.
Guys, I swear I'm fine. Look, I'm awake. And this gum really does help. Let me see that wrapper, boy. This is Coke gum.
Like the soda?
If Pablo Escobar was the CEO, sure. I don't think these references make sense for the time period. My boy, when was the last time you actually ate something? I shared an apple with my horse.
Hey, y'all got any more of that gum?
Oh, holy follows. Arthur.
Okay, that was mildly entertaining. That was a nice side tangent. But... yeah, I'll be right back and we get me some caffeine or something. Because my brain is starting to slow down. And maybe a snack. I don't know. I won't be too long. Hopefully. Yeah, okay. Well. All right.
Come back to Godot Dev Checkpoint.
We're back. I've got
We've made
caffeine.
characters and pickups. Today, we're building an interface and diving deeper into signals. The goal is to build a simple UI scene with a button and a label. We'll connect the button's pressed signal to a script, demonstrating how nodes communicate without knowing anything about each other. It's a concept called decoupling. Let's jump into the world of control nodes. Now to start off, we're going to create a new scene. So scene, new scene. For this, we're going to use the user interface. Now the root node of a user interface is always the control node. Now when building user interfaces, this is what you always start with. Control node is the root. This specialized node gives you access to all the tools for layout, anchoring, and scaling UI elements. Now you can find the documentation on control nodes linked below, and you can scroll through it at your leisure. Now we're going to rename this root something more obvious, main UI. Then we're going to save this scene, save scene. Make sure we're in our scenes folder. We're going to call this main UI. Now we're going to add a button. So main UI, add child node, and then we're going to search for button. Here it is right here. Create. Now we still have our node.
Oh, excuse me. Oh my God.
To the
I
inspector.
think I just sneezed all my
Here it is right
brains
here.
out.
Create. Now we still have our node window up and go back to the inspector. Now with the button highlighted, we have our text properties over here in our inspector. And we're going to change this to change message. Now we'll put this in the center of the screen. We select this here, the little move mode. The button selected. Now we can move this in the center of our UI here. Tell by the square box. Now this will be our signal emitter. Now we're going to add a label to our main UI. With that selected, we can add a child node. It's going to be a label. Here's our label, create. Then we're going to change its text, just like the button, but we're going to change this one to waiting for input, ... Then we're going to drag it with our move mode above our button. And now we're going to attach a script to the main UI. So the main UI is selected. We're going to select attach a script. And we're going to call this script main.
Wait, is this
UI
going above? Did I get
to the main
confused?
UI?
Ah, yes.
The
I
main
did.
UI is selected. We're going to select attach a script. And we're going to call this script main UI. We call this to the main UI. So the main UI is selected. We're going to select attach a script. And we're going to call this script main UI. But we need to put it in our scripts folder. So we're going to change that. Go back up to the root and into our scripts.
Yeah, I'm getting the hang of this,
All right.
baby. Let's go.
Open and create. Everything else default. You see, this actually inherits from the control. So that's going to have all of its necessities for the boilerplate. Great. Now this script will act as a listener for the button press. Now we don't need any of this boilerplate, so we can get rid of it for now. Save our script. Now connecting the signal. We're going to select our button node, which is our emitter, and click the node window. Now we need to find the pressed signal. Remember our radio analogy from tutorial 6? The button is broadcasting.
Wait, whoa.
I've been
Hold up.
pressed. Select our button node, which is our emitter, and click the node window. Now we need to find the pressed signal.
Did I do something wrong?
Our scripts folder. So we're going to change that. Go back up to the root and into our scripts. With all our other ones, open and create. Everything else default. You see this actually inherits from the control. So that's going to have all of its necessities for the boilerplate. Great.
I see now.
Now this script will act as a listener for the
It
button.
still held the search
We
result.
don't need
man.
any of this boilerplate. So we can get rid of it. So we can get rid of our script. We're going to select the node window. Now we need to find the pressed signal. Remember our radio analogy from tutorial 6? The button is broadcasting. I've been pressed. And we need to subscribe to that. Now we want to double click pressed. Then we want to click connect. Make sure it's connecting to our main UI script.
All right.
Now Godot automatically opens our main UI.gd script and writes the function stub for us. Function on button pressed. You see this is a signal. And how it's connected if you click on it. Button to the main UI when it's pressed. You also see it here. Now this function is where the magic happens. We need to tell the label to change its text. Since the label is a child of the main UI node where our script is attached, we can use a handy shortcut, the money symbol operator. Looks like this, the American money for the dollar. Now the money label is a path. Now it's shorthand for find the child node named label and give me a reference to it. Now this is much cleaner than using long path names, which you can also do, but this will keep your code nice and clean and readable. Now the documentation on accessing nodes is linked below if you want to explore this further. You can deep dive into all sorts of node magic. But now let's write the code to change the text property. Start with our label. Now we're going to access the text. And we want to equal that to signal received. UI updated.
Oh, he needs to move
So
his
that
cursor.
way we know the signal was received and the UI was updated. Now let's save our script. Control S. We're going to go File, Save. Either works.
No, hold up. I
Type
think
with
I might have
final-
screwed up because it's being a little weird. I need a new keyboard because a lot of the lights in my keyboard have gone out. Either that or I've accidentally changed the settings and I don't remember how to change them back. I could look it up, but... Oh, you know what? Ah, there we go. I'm not getting any errors. Yeah, so I guess that's right.
We'll test. Run the scene. Now, if we go back to our scene, main UI scene, now we're
Cool.
going to click the change message button. The text should instantly change for the label. Let's give it a try. Remember, not run project. Run project is still our welcome scene. We want to run our current scene. Press play. Now our change message, we click on it. Signal received.
That's how you do it,
updated.
boss. That's how you do it.
Now, if your text changes, you cleared the UI signals checkpoint. The button successfully communicated with the script, and the script updated the label. Great job. Now, in our final core tutorial, we're going to connect this UI knowledge to our level scene by implementing the complete game loop. Start screen to end screen. Now, if you found this helpful, please like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell to Godot Dev Checkpoint. That way you can know when our next tutorial is out. And remember, finished, not perfect. You'll learn more from failing than any success. So fail fast and fail often.
This is it, boys.
Welcome
The
back
last
to
video.
Godot Dev Checkpoint, for our final foundational tutorial. We're tying every skill we've learned into a complete game loop. Start, game, win, menu. We'll use signals, instancing, and the master node, the scene tree, to manage all the transitions. By the end, you'll have a functional, self-contained game.
It's like the great
Let's start with the ultimate authority,
air tree.
the scene tree. Now the scene tree is the master node in your game. It controls the main loop, manages pausing, and most importantly today, it's the only entity that can swap out the currently running scene. And we access it using the getTree function. Right here. Now let's dive in and quickly build our 2 new UI scenes based on the skills we learned in tutorial 7. Now you want a mini challenge? Feel free to try this one yourself. Pause the video and make 2 new user interface scenes. One, save as title screen. The other, save it as the win screen.
All right. We can do that. We can do that. So scene, new scene. We're just gonna do this real quick. It's a user interface. We're gonna go to 2G. We're gonna go to inspector. So main menu. We're gonna call this main menu. Main menu. Save. We're gonna make sure it's in the scenes. Just double check. Yep. Then we're going to add a. What was it called? No, it wasn't label. What was it? Crap. Oh, I guess it was. Well, yeah, it was button and label. So label is okay. So label is just the text. Button is yeah. I just had a complete brain fart there. So let's go label first. We are going to main menu. Can I make that be align center? Align center. Okay, there's got to be a way to make them like layout. No. Theme. Header large. Okay. Okay, here we go. Yeah, there we go. Oh, this is just like an example? Oh, okay, cool. Texture, material. There we go. There we go. I don't know what happened there, but sure, fine. Now, let's make the button start game. Mouse. Visibility, modulate, top level, layer max. Bibbity. Sure. Yeah. Start game. I wish there was a. Oh, cool. There we go. There we go. Now we're talking. Okay. Neat. All right. So we're gonna save that for now. Now we're gonna make a scene, new scene, user interface. Just a label, I suppose. You weep. I didn't do anything. What was it? Yeah. Okay, don't know why that happened. Font sizes, let's do 100. You win. And this is C. You win. Cool. Man. Jesus. My allergies, maybe? I don't know what the hell's happening. Ugh. Holy crap. All right. We did the thing. So. What?
All right, now if you gave that a try, great. If not, we'll walk through it. Now we create a new control scene, just like we did with the main UI. I'm going to do scene, new scene. We'll walk through it. Now we create the windscreen. All right, now if you gave that a try, great. If not, we'll walk through it. Now we create a new control scene, just like we did with the main UI. I'm going to do scene, new scene. I'm going to do user interface. And a control node is where we want to be. And we're going to rename that to title screen. We're going to save this as title screen. Make sure it's in our scenes folder. Save. Now we're going to add a label with this selected, title screen selected. We're going to add a child node, label, create. Now back in our inspector window, with our label selected, we're going to change the text to game title. We're going to move that with our move mode selected into the center here. Close enough. We also want a button. So title screen selected, add child node, button, create. For the button, we're going to change the text to start game. We're also going to bring that with our move mode selected. How about right there? Great. Also change this a little bit. Perfect. We're going to save that. Now we're going to create a windscreen. New scene. New scene. User interface. Control node. Rename this to windscreen. Then we're going to save the scene in our scenes folder as windscreen. Save. And the same thing. We're going to add a label. There. Create. We're going to change the text for that. You win. Not you 10. You win. We'll also put that in the middle. And we also need a button. Another child node on the windscreen. Button. Button selected. Create. And we're going to change the text for this one to return. Oops. Return to main. Or how about just return to menu?
It just crashed!
And with the move mode selected, we're going to put this kind of like.
Are you kidding me? It just crashed. Why? This one, no, I'll keep normal. Okay, this has got to be like my allergies or something, and I totally just. Jeez, okay, that was weird.
This, just like we have for the main menu.
This is why you always save.
Save that. The only difference here is if the player's done, they can quit. So with the windscreen selected, let's add another child node, another button. Create. For this button, we're going to have it as quit game. We'll put that right below the menu one. Now the player has a choice. Now we need to attach a script to the windscreen. Now before we do that, once again, we're curious developers, but we don't want to be curious what our code or our buttons do. So let's give those more descriptive names. So the first button is our return to menu button.
Man, what does that mean?
This button is our quit game button. Perfect. That'll help when we get into our code, when we hook up our signal presses. So on the windscreen selected, we want to select and attach a script. We want to name this script winScreen.gd. We also want it in the scripts folder. Go to our root. We want to select and attach a script. We want to name this button. Now the player has a choice. Now we need to attach a script to the windscreen. Now before we do that, once again, we're curious developers, but we don't want to be curious what our code or our button descriptive name. We want to name this.
Oh yeah, okay, I see.
So on the windscreen selected, we want to select and attach a script. We want to name
Windscreen. What was I thinking? Huh? Attach a script, make sure it's seen, issues when. Actually, hold that thought. I'll be right back.
Guess who's back?
Back again. All right, where were we? Oh yeah, we were doing some stuff.
This script win screen .gd. We also want it in the scripts folder. Go to our root scripts.
Oh.
Save it with all our other ones. Keep everything default and create. Now we don't need this boilerplate. We can get rid of that again. Save. Keep it nice and tidy. We want to do for our return to menu button. We want to connect the signals with our node menu over here. Like we did last time, we want to know when it is pressed. So we double click there. Our return to menu button pressed for our windscreen. We want to connect it. Now inside this function, we want to tell the scene tree to change the scene to our title screen. How do we do that? Well, let's replace this placeholder pass with get tree. We want to change scene to file. This should pop up autocomplete. You can double click that, and in the parentheses it'll tell you at least one argument is expected, but it got 0. The argument it wants is a string. String it wants is, where do you want it to go? We want it to go to the title screen. So we can double click that. It should populate.
Oh.
Now we also want the quit game button to work. So we need to hook up that signal as well. You see a signal is connection right here. If you click on it, it should go right to it. Quit game button selected. Node pressed again. We can double click that and hook up our on quit game button press to our windscreen. Connect. Now this function, for this, the scene tree has a specific command.
Oh yeah, I'm
And
stupid.
replace this placeholder text with get tree simply dot quit. Now get tree dot quit instantly closes the entire application. Now you can find the documentation for both change scene to file and quit linked below, and you can read all about them. Here's your quit. And then also remember, if you want to control click, you can click on any one of these blue calls here and go straight to the documentation. Now this is the key transition. Our single coin in level 1, if you remember, is now our win condition. Now open your coin GD script. It should be here in your script folders if you haven't closed it. If you have, it'll be down here in your scripts folder. You just double click it and it'll open. Now instead of just deleting it simply, we want to also do something else with it. Now when we pick it up as a player, we're assuming right now, can change this in the future, make it more picky, but right now we're going to assume the body entering is the player. Real loose with it right now. You can get more picky with it, make sure enemies can't pick up your coins, that kind of thing. For now, we're not going to worry about it. The first thing we're going to do is remove the coin. So we're still going to do that, which is Q. Free. If you ever forget how to spell it, it's listed here. You just double click it, populates it. The second thing we want to do is change scene to the win screen. How do we do that? Remember, if we want the scene tree, we need to get the tree. You can't have the tree if you don't get the tree. So you get tree, then you want to change the scene, right? Change scene to file. And we need to tell it which scene is a string, so we use quotations. And we want the win screen. Double click that. Now, when that coin is collected, the entire game state jumps instantly to the win screen. Save the script. Control S, or over here in the file, you can click save.
How come I didn't get the prop down? Alright, we're gonna do this. How did I hit insert? What? Guess we're doing this the hard way. What? I didn't do that.
Now next we need to set the title screen logic. Go back to our title screen, and we need to attach a script to the title screen. That selected, attach a script. I'm going to rename it title, and we need to attach a script to the title screen. That selected, attach a script. I'm going to rename it title screen, and make sure it's in our scripts folder. Open that, go back to our root, double click scripts. Now all our scripts are nice and tidy. Keep everything default and create. We don't need any boilerplate, so we can get rid of that. We can save the script. Now we want to connect the start game when it's pressed, its signal. It simply loads our game into level 1. Now you've got another mini challenge. We've done it a couple times now. You can go ahead and give that a try. Pause the video. See how you do. Now you've got another mini to connect the start game when it's pressed, its signal. It simply loads our game into level 1. Now you've got another mini challenge. We've done it a couple times now. You can go ahead and give that a try. Pause the video. See how you do.
On button pressed, get tree change to file. Level 1. Whoops. Whoops. Oh, yeah, because it was there for some reason.
Its signal simply loads our game into level 1. Now you've got another mini challenge. We've done it a couple times now. You can go ahead and give that a try. Pause the video.
I think that's right.
See how you do. All right, hopefully you gave that a try. If not, remember our button, we want it descriptive. So let's change the name of that to Start Game Button. Now, our signal wasn't already open. You had your inspector open. Our Start Game Button selected. Go to our node window, our pressed, double click, and our Start Game Button pressed, link to our title screen. Connect. Now we want to replace this placeholder text here with "You can't have a tree if you don't get the tree." Then we want to change scene to file. Now Which scene do we want? Well, we have to tell it. With a string, we want to go to level 1. Now this is where the main scene comes in handy, and we need to know about it. We set our main scene to our welcome scene. Now we don't want that anymore. What we want is our main scene be the title screen. Now how do we change it? So you must tell Godot where to start when the game launches. You go to Project Settings. Now under Application, we have Run. We want to click on that. Now Run has our main scene. So from here, we can click in here, not a UID. This is a whole different thing. We're not quite there yet, but we're actually going to use the path. A lot easier to read. So here, you want to click this little file folder, and we want the title screen to be our main scene. Open. So now our title screen is our main scene. It saves automatically, so you can close it. Time for the ultimate test. Now we're going to click the main play button. It should start on the title screen, and when we click Start Game, it should go to the first level. And when the character collects a coin, we should win the first coin we pick up. So we could go to our level 1 and our 2D and get rid of all these extra coins. So coin 2, if you hold shift to coin 5, or however many coins you got, we can delete those for now. And then we can have this one coin that we need to get to win. Now this should transition to the win screen after we do that. And then we can click Quit Game or back to main menu. Let's see what happens. Ready? Save scene. Save our title screen. Run project. And we're in our title screen, the game title, and our start game. So let's start our game. We are in our level 1. So let's try to collect our coin. Collect. We win.
Oh.
Now we can return to menu and back to the
Why didn't it? That didn't work. I forgot how you look at the.
starting title screen and our start game again. How about we play one more time? Our player drops. We go, we collect the coin, we win again. Now how about we try a quit game? The game quits. Everything is hooked up. If all 5 of your steps work, you have successfully implemented your first.
Why? So we win. Main menu. It goes there. That works fine. Then it goes to level 1. That should work, right? Why didn't that work? That works fine. That drops in. Debugger. Scenes you win. Oh, it's not found. Now let's try it. Return to GameWorks. All right, cool. Ladies and gentlemen, we made our first game. We did it. That game's gonna be $40 on Steam, right there. There you go. That's pretty good. That's pretty solid. I'm gonna save everything. Save all scenes. Is there a quick one for save all scenes? Control Shift Alt S. That's a lot. But yeah, that's pretty damn good.
Complete professional game loop. You cleared the final foundational checkpoint. You're no longer just learning Godot, you are a Godot game developer. Now if you found this helpful at all, please like and subscribe. Hit that notification because there'll be more tutorials in the future with Godot Dev Checkpoint. And remember, finished, not perfect. You'll learn more from failing than any success. So fail fast.
Yeah, we'll go
fail
platformer
often,
and see what we can do.
and always stay curious. See you in the next one.
Oh, Jesus, man, what in the world? Okay, yeah, this is more like it. When was this made? 2 years ago?
Hi, I'm Colin. I'm a high school computer science and digital media teacher, and for 13 years...
And then when was this one made? 10 months ago. That's not too bad. Let us save this.
Hi, I'm Colin. I'm a high school computer science and digital media teacher, and for 13 years I ran and managed creative technology computer summer camps for middle schoolers and a little younger, teaching animation, coding, 3D modeling, and video game design. In this course, I'll be introducing you to the world of game dev by creating your very own small 3D platformer video game using 2 pieces of software, primarily Godot, a free and open source game engine where you can build and code your own video games, and Blender, a free and open source 3D creation suite for modeling, texturing, and animating 3D models for your games. This course is meant for the absolute beginner. If I can teach this to middle schoolers, well, I can teach it to you. Now, if you already have even a little experience using Blender, you'll be able to take this project even further. Otherwise, I'll be guiding you step by step through each phase of building.
All right, hold up. I've got Blender chilling somewhere, I think. Yeah, what? No, I don't. I don't. Did I uninstall Blender? I guess I did. I'm sure he'll teach us how to, like,
programming this project, including creating a new project in Godot and starting a game level, adding a camera and a light into the game level, and we'll add a simple character object. We'll start with a cube, programmed to move by pressing the arrow keys on the keyboard. We'll be breaking down and covering what I consider to be the top 8 programming concepts beginner programmers need to know to get started coding, as we customize the movement of our character using code, create collectible objects, coins, that disappear when you collide with them, make your character jump and tilt to align with the floor that he's standing on, make the camera follow and be able to rotate around the character, create keyframed animations and trigger them to switch and play with code. We're going to create enemies that turn around at walls and edges. We're going to make moving platforms using tweens, a heads-up display on screen to show how many coins have been collected, menu screens with text, images, and coded buttons. And because this is a 3D game, we'll be using Blender to create a few of our own custom game assets, including a coin model, as well as textured blocks that we can easily use to construct our game level. Lastly, we'll finish this project off by exporting to a standalone Windows program, as well as publishing our game to a popular indie website, itch.io, where our game will be playable right in the web browser. For this course, I'll be providing you with all the assets you'll need to complete this project right alongside me. I can't wait for you to join me in creating this 3D platformer game and entering the world of game dev. To get started, you'll need to install both Godot and Blender. If you're using a laptop, I also highly recommend having a wheel mouse rather than having a trackpad or something else. I recommend getting both programs from the official sources. Godot from godotengine.org. We'll go up to downloads here, and I recommend getting the latest version, at least 4.0. I'm going to download the Windows standard 64-bit version, as that's what'll work best with my computer. And it's a surprisingly small download at just about 51 megabytes. It's a zip file downloaded here to my downloads folder, which I need to unzip. So in Windows, I'll right-click on it and I'll say extract all. Now, Godot is a bit of a funny program in that in Windows, it doesn't need to be installed. It's just a standalone program, an exe file. I'll go ahead and drag it to my desktop where I'll keep it throughout this course. Please note that in the next lessons of this course, I was actually using Godot 4.0 before I upgraded to 4.1. If you're using 4.2 or 4.3 or later, there should be just minimal differences, okay? You can get Blender from blender.org. The latest version of Blender for me is 3.6, though any recent...
Why did my stream go to shit? Oh, because I was downloading something. I'm sure once that's over, fuck it. I'll put it here. Install it on my, 5.1. Holy shit! Will this even work? Oh no. My stream has gone to shit. I have no idea why. Or maybe that's just my YouTube being weird. Yeah, no, it's just my YouTube. Alright. I have no idea why it set me to 144p. Learn how to support Blender. Okay, well, we are going to save that titanic task for another day, because holy crap. I don't know why my shit's not doing that. Oh, it's also not live. It's also behind by like a... Yeah, we're gonna save that titanic task for another time. Because I was so afraid of this. I knew that was inevitable. I knew that was coming. But it's just like, oh my god. Well, I guess we're learning that as well. We're going to have to throw that into the title. But I will see you guys later. Honestly, I'm still in the mood for some stuff, so maybe I'll do my first ever, like, free stream where I just play some games, because I've been, like, obsessed with Far, Far West. But yeah, that's pretty much about it. I'm going to hit this big red button. I think that there is a hotkey to stop streaming. No, I need to set one. So we're going to do Alt that and Alt that. I'm going to apply.